Hello. Hello, Cece. Hello. Hello. Almost dinner time, so I'll be on the bushes. Okay, Cece. Tell your husband I said hello. Hello. Hello, highly sensitive. Hello. Hi, Polo. Thank you for my super chat earlier. What are you getting at McDonald's? What are you getting at McDonald's? That's our favorite place to go. Hello, hello. Cheeseburger and fries and an orange Fanta. I love the orange drinks. It's so good. Yummy, yummy, tummy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Double cheeseburger and some fries. Yummy, tummy. Hold on one second, okay? I'm not even going to respond to him anymore. Hello, Jonas. Hello, hello. Okay, we are going to talk about the Titanic, the aftermath. I'm waiting on Maureen because I know she wanted to see what was going on with this as well. Hold on. The only thing I hate about salmon is the fishy smell. The fishy smell before you make it. Wow. Yes, 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 yes. So, guys, what I want to do about this live is I want to talk about, what happened on the Titanic. Okay. And then I want to go into what happened after. What happened to these people? What experience did they have on this ship? What they went through, the trauma of it all. So that's what we're going to talk about. Polo, CC, you have to cook with the stove fan on, have windows open, and clean all dishes with hot water and bleach after. So, Polo, you know how to make salmon? Hi, Judy Bird. Hi, Temper. So I can't offer you any of my stream grouper in coconut milk. The Titanic. Okay, let's dig into it. So Polo, tell us what you know about the Titanic. What are your thoughts on the Titanic? It was a time in history where they built this big ship, this beautiful, beautiful ship, the ship of dreams, and all that wonderful stuff. Great timing. I hope Maureen makes it, or she'll just have to catch the replay. Okay. Let's see. Oopsie daisy. Okay. So let me share my screen. And I want to tell you guys that we're going to take a ride on this ship. We're going to get on the ship and we're going to take a ride. We're going to be a passenger. Okay? We're going to be an actual passenger. And so, what I want to do is set up the scene. And I'm setting up the scene that we're actually on the ship and we are a part of this voyage. Okay? And then when I finish this portion of it, we're going to move on and we're going to talk about what happened after and see how far we get. Okay? But we're all on the ship. I don't know anything about it. I only seen the movie one time, the day it came out, but a lot of people fell asleep in the theater. It was a 3-hour movie, very long. It was very long, Polo. This is an 11-minute clip, and I'm glad it's only 11 minutes, but it's going to give you the gist of what happened in 10 minutes time. A 10-minute clip of what happened to the Titanic that night instead of this big production. And then once they tell us about what happened, then we're going to go into what happened after that night. Because everybody pretty much knows what happened. Hello, Diane. But do we ever talk about what happened after to these people? What did they do? How did they get the bodies out of the water? What happened with the ship at the bottom of the ocean? Like, these are questions. Hello, Cray Cray. I like your name. Valentina, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the show. Okay, so let's get into it. Now, just imagine you are a passenger on this ship. We're going on a cruise. We're getting on the Titanic just for a little while. Okay? I'm going to make it bigger so we can see it. We're in the driver's seat, and here we go.
The largest moving object ever created by human hands, and the night air is so cold it burns your lungs. April 14th, 1912, 11:35 p.m. You've just finished a late dinner in second class, roast chicken, boiled potatoes, simple but satisfying, and now you're out here because you couldn't sleep. The ocean stretches endlessly in every direction, black as ink, perfectly calm, no moon tonight, just stars, thousands of them, more than you've ever seen in your life, scattered across the sky like broken glass on velvet. You grip the railing, and the metal feels like ice, even through your gloves. Somewhere below you, in the belly of this floating palace, coal trimmers are shoveling fuel into furnaces that never stop burning. You can't hear them from up here. All you hear is the low, constant thrum of the engines, a sound that's become so familiar over the past 4 days that you barely notice it anymore.
Yeah, we are on a field trip. Get on. Everybody's paid. We're going to be in first and third. We're going to be in first and second class, okay? We didn't just got through eating dinner. We're going to go do some dancing, some partying, get our drink on, go dancing. How about let's go dancing? Okay, we're all at the club. We didn't have dinner.
It's the heartbeat of the ship. Steady, reliable, unstoppable. You're headed to New York, a new life. Maybe a brother waiting at Ellis Island, or a job in a factory, or just the promise of something better than what you left behind in Southampton. You paid $13 for your ticket, nearly 2 months' wages, but it's worth it. This ship is unsinkable. Everyone says so. The newspapers, the crew, even the captain himself, Edward Smith, a man with 40 years of experience and a white beard that makes him look like God. You light a cigarette and watch the smoke drift away into the darkness. Somewhere to your left, you hear laughter. A group of third-class passengers have snuck up here, playing cards under a dim electric light. Their voices...
It was said that it was unsinkable, that God himself couldn't sink the ship, but it is in the bottom of the Atlanta.
Is bright and careless. They're Irish, you think, or maybe Polish. You can't quite tell. But their joy is contagious, and for a moment you smile. This is what hope sounds like. And then far ahead, you see it. At first, you think it's a cloud, a white shape rising from the water, ghostly and immense.
Look at it.
But clouds don't stay still like that.
They're headed straight
shape grows
for
larger,
this
clearer.
iceberg.
It's ice, a mountain of it, towering above the ocean, its edges glowing faintly in the starlight.
They're headed straight for this iceberg. Okay, let me turn his voice is going too fast.
You've seen icebergs before. Everyone on board has been talking about them, but this one is different. It's massive, and it's directly in the ship's path. You expect the ship to turn. Of course it will turn. The lookouts in the crow's nest must have seen it by now. Frederick Fleet and Reginald Lee, 2 men with binoculars and a bell, and the responsibility of keeping 4,500 tons of steel from hitting anything. You wait for the alarm, for the engine to cut, for the deck to tilt as the rudder swings hard to port. But nothing happens. The Titanic keeps moving. 22 knots, full speed ahead. You drop your cigarette, it flies through the railing and disappears into the black water below. Your heart starts to pound. Why isn't the ship turning? You look around for someone,
The ship isn't turning.
The promenade is nearly empty now. The card players are gone. The laughter has stopped. It's just you and the cold and the iceberg growing larger with every second. And then you hear it. 3 bells, sharp and urgent. The signal for object directly ahead. The ship begins to turn, but it's slow, agonizingly slow, like trying to steer a building. The bow swings to port, but the iceberg is already too close. You can see it now in horrifying detail. Jagged edges, deep blue shadows, chunks of ice calving off into the water. It's beautiful, deadly, inevitable. The impact is almost gentle, a grinding sound, low and metallic, like a key scraping against a lock. The deck shudders beneath your feet. Not violently, just a faint vibration that travels up through your shoes and into your bones. Some passengers don't even wake up. Others stumble out of their cabins, confused, half-dressed, asking what happened. You hear someone laugh. "We hit an iceberg," a man shouts, as if it's a joke, as if it's nothing. But you know, deep in your gut, you know, you run to the starboard side and look down. There, just above the waterline, you see it, chunks of ice scattered across the deck.
Wow.
They're small, harmless looking, like hailstones after a storm. A few passengers are already picking them up, tossing them to each other, laughing. One man kicks a piece across the deck like a soccer ball. Children chase after it, shrieking with delight. Below deck, something else is happening, something no one up here can see. The iceberg didn't just scrape the side of the ship, it tore it open. Not a long gash, like you might imagine, but a series of small holes, punctures along the hull where rivets popped and seams split under the pressure. Water is rushing in now, cold and relentless, flooding the forward compartments. The mailroom, the squash court, the third-class cabins where families are still sleeping, where children are curled up under thin blankets, dreaming of America. Thomas Andrews, the ship's designer, is already awake. He's down in the bowels of the Titanic with a pencil and paper, doing the math. 6 compartments flooded.
6.
The ship can survive 4, maybe 5. But 6? Impossible. He calculates the angle, the weight, the rate of flooding. 2 hours, he thinks, maybe less. And then he goes to find Captain Smith. You don't know any of this yet. You're still on deck, watching the ice, watching the crew pretend everything is fine. But you notice small things. The way the officers are moving a little faster now. The way the deck is starting to tilt, just slightly, barely noticeable, but enough that your glass of water would slide if you set it down. At 12:05 a.m., Captain Smith gives the order, "Uncover the lifeboats." You feel a spike of fear. Lifeboats.
Temper
Why?
says that the water begins to fill up quickly. Judy Bird is concerned about the third class. And Polo says, "Hold on tight." Here we go.
Why would they need lifeboats? The ship is unsinkable. But then you see the crew struggling with the canvas covers, fumbling with ropes they've never practiced untying.
Wow.
And you realize they don't know what they're doing. Most of them have never launched a lifeboat before. They've never had to. If you can't look away from what's coming, drop a comment. Which forgotten disaster should we live through next? The first lifeboat is lowered at 12:45 a.m. It's designed to hold 65 people. It leaves with 28. Most of them are first-class women and children, wrapped in fur coats,
28
clutching jewelry
people.
boxes, still convinced this is just a precaution. They don't want to leave the warm, brightly lit ship for a tiny wooden boat in the freezing darkness. Some refuse outright. "I'm not getting in that thing," a woman says, pulling her arm away from an...
The beginning stages. We're all on the boat. We're in second and first class, guys. Okay? We're in second and first class. We're not on the third floor. Okay? And now we're out there looking at this. No one's panicked yet, but we're trying to figure out what's going on. No one's told us that the boat is about to shrink. We think we're good. Yeah, those people in the bunk beds, Semper. That's the thing. Third class was the bottom. The ship, they got the first impact. They sure did. And they were not able to come up the steps. They were blocked.
An officer. "We'll wait for the rescue ships." But there are no rescue ships.
There's no rescue
Not
ships.
yet. The closest one, the Carpathia, is 58 miles away. Even at full speed, it won't arrive for 4 hours. You're in second class, so you're not allowed near the...
We're in second class. We're not allowed near something. Okay? He just told us what class we were in. We're in second class. Okay? Now, we went to the party, and now we didn't quit partying because the iceberg is going on. But we still got our drinks and stuff. And now we're on the deck trying to figure out why people are getting in the lifeboats. Yeah, we're on holiday. We're on our way to America. America. Coming to America. Whoa. Coming to America. We're on our way. Yep, they treated third class like prisoners. Exactly, Doodoo Bird. We watched that last night. They closed off the section. They closed off the section of the ship. And men were still in there. They were trapped. But they had to shut it off so the water wouldn't start filling up.
First class lifeboats. You have to wait. You stand on deck with hundreds of others,
can't get on the boat.
watching the bow sink lower and lower, watching the water creep up the forward decks.
We can't get on the boat. We're second class, okay? They said we got to wait until all first class gets on the boats. Now, we don't know there ain't enough boats. We don't know that the ship is sinking. All we know is that we got our cocktail. Looks like we're going to be evacuating the boat, which seems a little serious. But, you know, it is what it is. They're the experts. I trust them. That's right, CC. Yes, they were more concerned about the first class passengers, not second class or third.
Swallowing benches and railings and windows. The ship's lights are still burning, every single one of them, casting golden reflections on the black water. It looks almost peaceful, almost beautiful. At 1:30 a.m., the band starts playing. 8 men in formal uniforms, standing on the tilting deck, playing ragtime and waltzes as if this is just another evening. You recognize the band leader, Wallace Hartley, a violinist from England. He's playing Nearer My God to Thee, and the sound of it, slow, mournful, sacred, cuts through the chaos like a knife. People stop shouting, stop running. For just a moment, they listen. By 2:00 a.m., the ship is standing nearly vertical. You're clinging to the railing now, your feet slipping on the wet deck, your hands numb from the cold. All around you, people are screaming, praying, jumping into the water. The lifeboats are gone, all of them. And there are still over 1,500 people on board. You see a mother holding her children, whispering to them, smoothing their hair. You see a priest giving last rites to a group of third class.
Okay, so I guess we still on the boat. We didn't make it in any of the boats. Okay, so we seeing all of this as he's speaking to us in as if we're on the boat. Okay, we're on the boat on holiday here. Now we're panicking. I didn't put my drink down and I'm trying to figure out what the hell. What are we going to do? How are we going to get through this? Ain't no more freaking boats.
Class passengers who couldn't get past the locked gates. You see an old couple sitting together on a bench holding hands, waiting for the end. At 2:20 a.m., the Titanic breaks in half. The sound is indescribable.
It breaks.
A roar of tearing metal, shattering glass, exploding boilers. The stern rises impossibly high, 45 degrees, maybe more. And for a moment, it hangs there, suspended, the propellers dripping seawater, the lights flickering one last time. And then it slides beneath the surface, pulling everything with it. The suction is so strong, it drags people under. Lifeboats and debris and bodies all swirling together in a massive whirlpool. And then, silence. The ocean is calm again, flat, empty. Just wreckage and stars and the distant sound of people calling for help. You're in the water now. The cold is beyond anything you've ever felt. It's not just painful, it's crushing. Like your chest is being squeezed in a vice. You can't breathe, can't think. You try to swim, but your limbs won't move. Hypothermia sets in within minutes. Your body shuts down. Your vision blurs. The last thing you see is the sky. The same stars that seemed so beautiful just 2 hours ago. They don't.
My God, we're in the water. We didn't make it to the boat. Anyway, hypothermia is setting in. We're freezing. It's cold. The ice is piercing your body. You just want it to stop. And you were in the middle of nowhere. Hi, Stormy. We're in the middle of nowhere. Ain't no boats coming. Ain't nobody coming. It's dark. It's desolate. It's quiet. It's cold. If it wasn't so cold, we probably The people probably would have been able to wait for the Carpathian, but it was too cold. There wasn't enough life jackets either, Judy Bird. Word on the curb was there wasn't enough life jackets. Jesus. Yep, it went down bow first, and then that sucker went. Then it bopped. Then it drug it all the way on down. And there the Titanic went. But look at the band. The band is playing. I don't know how the band is playing, and I'm panicked.
Don't care. They never did. The Titanic sank because of a series of small, preventable failures. Not enough lifeboats. Only 20 for over 2,000 people because regulations hadn't caught up with shipbuilding technology. Warnings ignored. At least 6 iceberg alerts that day. Dismissed because the night was clear and the crew was confident. A locked gate between third class and the boat deck, trapping the poorest passengers below. Rivets made from cheap iron instead of steel, which cracked under pressure. But more than anything, it sank because people believed it couldn't. They believed in human progress, in engineering, and the unstoppable march of modernity. They built a ship so grand, so perfect, that they forgot the ocean doesn't care about human arrogance.
They don't.
Of the 224 people on board, only 7 in
Human arrogance. Human arrogance.
10 survived. Most of them died not from drowning, but from hypothermia. The water was 28 degrees, cold enough to kill in 15 minutes. Their bodies floated for days, recovered by ships sent to collect the dead.
Cold enough to kill you in 15 minutes. That's how cold this water was. It wasn't that you were in the water. It was that the water was cold. They probably could have survived if the water wasn't so cold. Everything was working against them. The water was brutal. Was not, though the water was unforgiving. Unforgiving. Okay. See, Judy Bird. Wow. So
many were never identified. They were buried at sea or in mass graves in Halifax, Nova Scotia, marked only with numbers. The Titanic wasn't forgotten, not like other disasters, but its true lesson often is. We remember the romance, the tragedy, the band playing as the ship went down. But we forget the inequity. First-class passengers had a 62% survival rate. Third class, 25%.
Wow.
We forget that lifeboats launched half empty because officers prioritized wealth over lives. We forget that the ship's designer, Thomas Andrews, stayed on board until the end, trying to save as many people as he could, knowing he'd failed. History doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. The Titanic was a monument to hubris, to the belief that we've conquered nature, that disaster can't touch us, that some things are too big to fail. We've built new Titanics since then, taller buildings, faster planes, financial systems we swore were unsinkable, and every time the ocean reminds us, nothing is. If this moment chills you to the bone, hit subscribe so you never miss the next time history turns dark. Sources and references: National Archives of the United Kingdom, Board of Trade Inquiry Records, 1912, Encyclopedia Titanica, passenger and crew biographies.
Okay, now I'm going to take us deeper, okay? We are going to talk about some of the survivors, what their first-hand experience, okay? And then we're going to move on to what happens way after, okay? I hope you guys enjoy this. Let me come to it. I thought this out. No, not this one. Here we go. Boom. Okay, this is going to be triggering a little bit. So, just a little bit. We may need our banner up. I know. I can't imagine either. You know, all you hear is screaming, you know, all around you. I can't even imagine. You're right, Judy Bird. Temper. Well, water temperature, look at that. Once was enough for me, Dudu. People hung onto anything that floated by them, freezing to death, okay? Marine said her and Jack from the Titanic would have had to share that raft, okay? That's okay, highly sensitive. You know what happened, okay? You know what happened. You're good. Maybe one day you'll see it if you feel led to, but you know what happened. Now, here we go.
The final plunge of the Titanic would have been a violent event. When it comes to the Titanic survivors, we know that their fates were far better than the 1,500 people who were left behind. But we often forget to acknowledge that a lot of the survivors went through physical trauma themselves that night. From things as simple as seasickness, sprains and strains, to broken bones, concussions, and almost having their legs amputated. In this video, we will get into the physical trauma the Titanic caused its survivors, and how the few hours of hell these survivors went through that night would plague some of them for the rest of their lives. I'm Tyshawn, and this is Legacy Liner. Welcome aboard. So, without any further delay, let's get into it.
Trauma.
One of the most dangerous things that happened during the sinking was the loading of the lifeboats. And that don't sound like that would be that dangerous of an experience. But if you compare it to Lusitania or the Britannic, where lowering the lifeboats before the captain gave the orders or doing it in an improper way ended up causing a lot of people to meet very tragic, horrendous fates. On the Britannic, their lifeboat was lowered and ended up getting chopped up by the ship's propeller because it was still moving and half out of the water. On the Lusitania, there were several lifeboats that either broke apart as they were being lowered or landed on top of other boats or got crushed because there just wasn't enough organization with the way that they were loading their boats. So loading the lifeboats is a very dangerous process, and it is not a decision to be taken lightly. I know there's this misconception that anytime a boat bumps into something, the first thing the captain is supposed to do is say, abandon ship, and then everybody runs around and, goes for the boats.
Oh my God, like seriously. These people are not trained to lower these boats so that these people could get on the boat. Then they wasn't filling up the boats. Why weren't they filling up these boats to the top, to the rim, to save as many people as possible? Let's continue.
But in real life, it's quite the opposite. You do not want to do that because you can put the passengers' lives in danger. And in the Titanic's case, even though its lowering of the lifeboats certainly went smoother than other shipwrecks, it still had its fair share of complications. First class passenger Helen Candy, she told about how she was the first person to be loaded into her lifeboat. And there wasn't even an officer there to, take her hand and help her step down into the boat. And so she ended up jumping in and landing awkwardly, and it caused her to break her ankle. And when she broke her ankle, she collapsed down and laid there in pain for a bit. And Captain Smith walked by, and I guess he got kind of snippy with her and was just like, "What are you doing? Get up and help other women into the boats." And so it took her a little bit to get herself collected, but she did do it. She did stand up and help other women and children get in. But I just found that story kind of interesting, that Captain Smith, which Lord knows he had a lot on his mind at the time, that he just saw this woman laying in the boat and was just like, "Ma'am, get up. This is not about you right now."
Okay.
Oh, and by the way, she did end up suing White Star for $10,000 over that injury. Little Eva Hart, who was only 7 at the time, whenever she was tossed into the lifeboat, she hit her stomach on the edge of the boat.
Ooh.
And this ended up causing her to have vomiting attacks in the beginning when the lifeboat first touched the water. Her mother, Esther, wrote in a letter that she felt so bad because she wanted to get over to Eva to comfort her, but the boat was full and the two of them were in 2 separate sections and she couldn't get to her. So she just had to watch as poor little Eva was just having a vomiting attack. And if you were one of the women or children who were capable of making it into the lifeboat without getting injured, that still didn't mean that you were safe. You see, as the lifeboats were being lowered down, there were a lot of men who weren't able to get in when the lifeboat was leveled with the deck. But now that the lifeboat was being lowered, they saw this as their chance to run and jump in. And so a lot of the women had stories of their boat being lowered down and men just falling and crashing down on top of them from 10, 20, however many feet from the boat deck. Lucinda Parrish was severely bruised when a man jumped from the deck and landed on top of her when he was jumping into the lifeboat. There was another first-class passenger, Annie Mae, who said that a man that she...
Hello, Polly. Welcome. Welcome. Moving in silence. That stupid stuff. Oh my God, these poor people. She couldn't get to her baby because she was on the other side of the boat. These people went through something that night. Let's see what else they went through.
Estimated to be about 250 pounds, had jumped down and landed on top of her. And she said that the man landed on her with so much force that it actually broke some.
250-pound husky man jumps on this lady and broke something. Ow. You got to be more careful. It was chaotic. They did not have a system in place. They did not have enough boats. Exactly. Timber says falling in boats can give you injuries that last a lifetime. Whoa. Watch out.
Some of her ribs. Other passengers tried to be a little bit more careful in the way that they did it. Instead of jumping down into the lifeboat, they tried to slide down the lines that were used to lower the lifeboats into the water. I used to work on tall ships, so I know firsthand what it's like to have the friction and that burn from the rope in your hand. For us, they wouldn't let us wear gloves because they wanted us to build up callus on our hands in case we had to lower the sails in an emergency. But if you're a passenger that's never been on ships or anything before, that could be something in itself that you're not used to. Another major way that passengers and crew were injured were from jumping off of the ship into the water itself. You see, when you're jumping from that height, it's already a danger in itself, but you also have to watch out for debris that's floating in the water underneath. And it was very dark that night. There was no moon. And there were a few passengers that remarked that the sea was just black. You couldn't see down there. So you didn't really know if you were going to land on anything or not. Frank Prentice remarked that he had jumped from the stern of the Titanic and he felt like he was lucky that he didn't hit anything. And while he was in the water, he saw one of his shipmates. And I guess when he jumped, he did hit something, which caused him to get injured bad enough where he did eventually pass away. There was a passenger, Mr. Whiteman, who allegedly told William Sloper that he was blasted into the water from an explosion and landed on top of some deck chairs in the water. So that's another example of things. Deck chairs, people, ice, debris. even whenever they were filming the movie Titanic, this was back in the 90s when you didn't have as much CGI as we do today. And that was one of the major concerns for the safety of the stunts people and the actors in that movie, was making sure that they had time to swim away before the next group of people landed on top of them. And I remember watching a behind the scenes clip where that was their rule. In the movie, when the stunts people would jump over, they would land in the water and then immediately start swimming away. And then that's when the next group of jumpers would come, and then they would jump over. And that's how they avoided having any type of incidents. Well, that's an organized professional stunt people filming a scene for a movie. You can imagine that for the Titanic, it wouldn't have been like that. People would have been jumping sporadically, not thinking about it, panicking. And they would have been landing on top of each other. They would have been landing in debris. It would have been just
chaos.
Horrifying. There was another story of a stoker who jumped overboard, and when he hit the water, he ended up hitting a piece of floating ice. And the impact of hitting that ice from that height of jumping off of the Titanic's decks, it caused him to get severely injured. And he too, unfortunately, would not survive his injuries. Ruth Dodge fainted 3 times throughout the night, and it was said that she was acting very much hysterical. She was distressed about leaving her husband behind on the ship. Thankfully, he would end up being amongst the survivors. Another issue that plagued a lot of the survivors in the boats was that there was water that was standing in the bottom of their boats, this cold, icy water. And so there were several survivors in different boats who remarked that even though they never were submerged in the water themselves, their feet was in this cold water all throughout the night. There was one man who snuck into a lifeboat, and he remarked that when he was tucked down under, he could feel the cold water at the bottom of the boat lapping up against him.
Wow.
Juliette LaRoche was in one of the boats that had this water in it, and she ended up having pain in her feet for the rest of her life.
Jeez.
Whenever she would get that pain in her feet, she was known to say, "The Titanic's coming back to me." Spencer Silverthorne would later recall that his hand was frozen because when he looked down, he saw that water was coming in through the bottom of the boat. And so he stuck his hand or his fingers at this hole to keep the water from coming up at the bottom of the boat.
Wow.
But it's 28-degree water. So having his fingers there long enough for them to solve the problem caused his fingers to just get very badly frostbitten.
Here's the thing. What we do, okay? Frostbitten. Look, check this out. Forgot what I was going to say. Forgot. Being in the boat, okay? And it's cold outside, okay? Excuse me. It's cold outside. You don't even have to be in the water for it to be freezing because you're surrounded by ice, icebergs, and ice is everywhere. So it's freezing out there. It's below. And so you're in the boat, freezing cold. And so his poor little hands got frostbitten down there trying to plug that hole. Whoa, I got a super chat. LL, I love the way your channel is drama free. I love you, Doodoo Bird. Thank you so much. Exactly. That's what we do over here. We do not do the drama. Okay. And if I have to do drama, which is very rare, because I'm not going to be answering to stupidity, will be on my unfiltered. Yeah. Doodoo bird, 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 doodoo bird. Doodoo bird, doodoo bird, doodoo bird, doodoo bird, yeah. Woo! I want to thank you, Doodoo Bird, for my super chat, my super sticker. Thank you so much. You guys are so kind. And guess what we also did today, guys? We're at 6,500 subscribers. my subscriber count is going up, 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 up. And I'm grateful for it. We are having new people in our chat, and I love our new community and what's going on. And I love what we have in store for the Fanadoos. Okay. Now, before Funky Dineva, let me do this. I want us to put some Fanadoos in the chat for our lovely one and only Doodoo Bird, the mod. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Can we do that, guys? Can you do that for me? Yes. Thank you, Doodoo Bird, so very, very much. And let me put my fans in the chat. Fans in the chat. Fans in the chat. Fanadoo. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Fanadoo. There you go. All for you, Doodoo Bird. All right. Back to the show.
The culprit for this water at the bottom of these boats would have been this little piece right here.
What?
Or at least the 1912 equivalent of it. You see, boats have what's known as a drain plug at the bottom of them. And what this drain plug does is it allows all of that rainwater, sea spray, everything that accumulated at the bottom of the boat to be able to drain out. So it's not just building up this nasty, mucky water at the bottom of the boat. And so it's customary when you have these boats on land to have these plugs open so that the water can drain out. But of course, before you put them in the water, you're supposed to put the plug back in so that way water doesn't leak into your boat. On the Titanic, the crew members, hurriedly getting the boat ready, for some of these lifeboats, they forgot to put this plug at the bottom of the boat. And so when it would hit the water, passengers would begin to notice that water was seeping in through the bottom of the lifeboat. And then they would scurry around trying to find a plug or find a way to stop the water from leaking in. And this would have been very difficult in a dark wooden lifeboat. It's not like they had their phones where they could turn on a light and look and see. It just would have been them trying to feel around with what they could, because most of them had hurriedly went up on deck. So they didn't have proper survival gear. Some of them couldn't even find the...
There were no cell phones back in the day. You couldn't call Junior and Pete and Bob and them and let them know, look, the Titanic didn't gone down. Let Sue them know, what's going on with us. No, wasn't no cell phones. Wasn't no communication. Wasn't no computers. Wasn't no ThinkPads. Wasn't no digital. Shoot. None of that was going down back in the day.
Water or the little biscuits that they were supposed to have. So it just wasn't very well prepared, it seems. And for the people who were on the Titanic when she took her final plunge, the injuries would be far more severe. Rhoda Abbott, who would have been around the forward funnel whenever it was collapsing and the grand staircase when it imploded, and she described being sucked down under the water multiple times. And both times that it happened, she was separated from one of her sons, whom she would never see again. And there ended up being these explosions from deep down in the ship that caused her to get contusions and burns on her legs. And that's what blasted her up to the surface. And she ended up spending quite a bit of time in the hospital recovering not just from the physical injuries, but also from the emotional injuries of losing her two sons. Richard Williams describes how he saw the forward funnel fall, and when it fell, it crushed his father right in front of him. He just remembered looking over and seeing the forward funnel starting to topple over, and he jumped out of the way, and when he went back to reach for his father, it had took his father away. It crushed him. I'm going to actually let you hear it from his own words. Still remembering suction, I yelled to my father, "Quick, jump." He started towards me just as I saw one of the 4 great funnels come crashing on top of him. Just for one instant, I stood there transfixed. Not because it had only missed me by a few feet. This did not even occur to me. Curiously enough, not because it had killed my father, for whom I had far more than normal feeling of love and attachment. But there I was transfixed, wondering at the enormous size of this funnel, still belching smoke. It seemed to me that 2 cars could have been driven through it side by side. It was probably but a fraction of a second. Then I jumped to the rail. The water was about 2.5 or 3 decks down. I climbed over the rail and jumped clear. Just the massive size of the Titanic's funnel was enough to just shock him. I don't know what that term is. Is it megalophobia, or when you have a fear of large objects? I think that's one of the things that makes the Titanic so haunting, is that there's so many different fears and phobias that it could play into. And this isn't sci-fi. This isn't Hollywood. This is a real human being telling you what it was like watching his father get crushed by this massive funnel. Also, while we're on the subject of funnels falling and crushing people, I have to address the elephant in the room.
Morning.
Some of you, when you hear of a funnel crushing someone, you immediately think of John Jacob Astor. We've all read that somewhere or heard that story about John Jacob Astor's body being badly crushed and covered in soot. But whenever I was reading not just this book, but On a Sea of Glass, Titanica Encyclopedia, and then Colonel Archibald Gracie's book. Colonel Archibald Gracie's book is the only source I have ever found that says anything about John Jacob Astor's body being badly crushed. I read stories of men on the Mackie Bennett who described what John Jacob Astor's body was like, and none of them mentioned anything about it being badly crushed or covered in soot. I always was under the impression that the only reason they knew it was his body was because of the handkerchief and the money, his personal effects that had his initials and name in it. But apparently from the accounts of the men that recovered his body, they could recognize features on him. And I would imagine that if a 60-ton piece of steel fell on top of you, you wouldn't be very recognizable. And so I'm kind of agreeing with what the other sources are saying. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think he was crushed by the Ford funnel. I don't. Because even in Colonel Archibald Gracie's account, it's not like he says that he sees it. He says that he heard from like a friend of a friend that John Jacob Astor's body was like that. So it won't even a direct source. It was, I heard through the grapevine from this person, from their friend, that this is how it was. So that's why I'm starting to think like, okay, that's a myth that has been busted now. There's another person on
Word on the curve
board that night who I can't help but imagine the hell he went through. And that's engineer Jonathan Shepard.
The engineer.
The story with him goes is that whenever he was rushing about trying to get stuff done in the boiler rooms, he accidentally stepped in a manhole, which actually caused him to break his leg pretty badly. It was reported that he was dragged into the pump room of Boiler Room 5, and it was there that he stayed for the remainder of the sinking. And this is still a pretty eerie part, but I do feel it needs to get mentioned. There were stories circulating around that since his leg was broken and the Titanic was doomed and they knew it, they knew there was no way that they'll be able to get him all the way down from the engine room or the boiler room.
They couldn't get him
to the boat deck. And so there was rumors circulating around that he was shot. And this was done as an act of mercy. So that way he wouldn't have to be in the dark bowels of the ship listening as the water was slowly coming in to overtake him. That was looked at more of a mercy killing. Now, of course, no one has came forward and said that they saw this or did this.
Guys, do you believe that? See, word on the curve is that something happened. He was stuck. He couldn't, his leg, they couldn't carry him up. He was doomed. It wasn't nothing they could do. So they either let the water get him or, mercy. Mercy kill. Mercy unaliving. I don't know how YouTube wants me to say that. But, whoa, these people went through hell. Okay? It wasn't just like you were good to go once you got in the boat. You were still struggling. It was freezing. Then one boat didn't have a plug, and one guy had to use his finger, and his finger was frostbitten. His hand. Yeah, these people went through something. Interesting.
In all honesty, if it's true, whoever would have probably didn't even survive themselves. But that's just one of those things where when I read it, it just kind of stuck with me for the rest of the day. It was like, my God, that must have been horrifying for him, especially.
It's sticking with me.
But also for the person that would have had to make the decision to do that for him out of an act of kindness, even if it didn't really feel that way.
Yeah.
There was
like, imagine, having to make the decision to do it, having to be the one to do it. Like, that is some serious stuff right there. Them people were going through hell. Yep.
Was one crew member believed to be George Cavell, who reported seeing one of his shipmates fall into the hole whenever the Titanic broke apart. Chief Baker Joffin, who was on the stern when the Titanic broke apart, tells how everybody on board could hear the sound of the Titanic steel, buckling, popping, and cracking.
Oh.
And then the Titanic listed over the port, and it caused a crowd of people to be thrown in a heap. He said it just caused everyone to just pile up on top of each other. Some of the passengers developed colds, bronchitis, pneumonia, reoccurring respiratory problems like asthma. The list goes on. Joseph Boxall had suffered so much in the cold from rowing and just being in the cold air for that long. Whenever he went to the British Inquiry a few weeks later to testify, they had to get him a chair because he still hadn't.
Ain't that something? The air, that cold, freezing air, messed up those people's airwaves. They were getting sick. Jeez. And they were out there, but they weren't in the water. They were on the boat, breathing it. Yeah, I would have to be in therapy on some strong meds and therapy. Those two things that I would probably be if I had went through something like that. In the Atlanta, a whole ocean. No, because now I do. But I think we're okay. They have enough lifeboats, Paulie. They have enough lifeboats. But it does make sense. It does make sense, Paulie. Oh, Paulie doesn't want to go on a cruise. It's the most fun experience ever. The food is awesome. The people are great. The food is great. The different places you get to go. And it's really fun. I want to take my daughter on a Disney cruise. I want to do Disney cruise for her. She's been to Disney World, Land of World, the one in California. But she was a baby. Judy Bird's been on 2 cruises. And yes, Polly, they have improved so much. It's really, really safe. Yes, Judy Bird, exactly. Your drinks, your entertainment, places you stop, go on the beach, get under the boat, go tour the city, just all kinds of fun and enjoyable activities. I mean, they have a casino on the boat. They have a club on the boat. A whole nightclub. Me and my husband stayed. We didn't stay there. We went a couple of times. But we toured that boat. We went around. They had an upstairs where you could go eat dinner for like, if you wanted like steak and lobster, like a special meal, you had to pay, I think it was like an additional $30 for each of us, me and my husband, but we paid it. But it was like fine dining. It was beautiful. And we got to meet the captain, took pictures, met some people. Just great. This was the wedding. Check out, hey, those of you that are my members, check out my wedding video. Okay. Oh, the Alaska. Judy Bird didn't moved on up. I think it's me. It's the concept of being stuck in the middle of the water. That's how I feel about planes. How do you feel about flying, Paulie? The concept freaks me out. I'd rather fly and drive, LOL. But I get it must be for fun. But I'd rather do a boat than do a plane, especially with the air traffic control that they got going on right now. They don't have enough.
And physically recovered from what he had went through. Rhoda Abbott, who I mentioned earlier, and who I also have done a separate video on, she ended up having to move from Providence, Rhode Island to Florida because her respiratory problems from being in that cold air and being the only woman to go down with the Titanic and survive, it just caused her body to never physically recover. She was in pretty rough health from that for the rest of her life. There was another passenger, Samuel Goldenberg, who actually went blind for a month. And one of the most scariest stories, in my opinion, from the Carpathia happened to Augustus Weichmann. When he was on board the Carpathia,
he said this guy went blind for a month. I didn't know you could go blind for a moment and then can see the next. Did you guys know that? Oh. Going from Europe to America is not quite the same as a cruise. What is it? Oh, he's going to start paying it? Is that what he said, Judy Bird? Word on the curb is I just got a smart news thingy that said Trump is going to start paying the TSA through the shutdown now. Oh, interesting. Oh, hysterical blindness. Hysterical. Look at that. I've never heard of such a thing. That is so interesting. All this stuff is interesting. This is history at its best. Okay? They are breaking it down. I feel like I know these people. I feel like I know this gentleman. Yeah. I'm up close and personal. What happened to Sally? Her leg. All of them have respiratory issues, bronchitis, either pneumonia, something. Somebody needed a wheelchair. I mean, I went terribly blind and deaf during a tennis tournament because I was low on the electric lights. Oh, Did you like black out, Polly? But you could like, would you like, because he was like, he couldn't see what he couldn't see. It was just dark for a week. That's weird. What book? Oh, good, Polly. Good, good, good. Yeah, I passed out once. I think I had accidentally mixed my medications, and whoa, I had a moment. Yeah. But I didn't go blind. I just got dizzy. Alaska. Yes, Diane. My aunt wants to go to Alaska. A lot of people want to go to Alaska. I think it would be beautiful. Yes. The Europe. Oh, she complained. I've always wanted to go on a cruise to the Alaska. My ex-husband has taken his mom, and she complained about how cold it is. Yeah, you gotta wrap up. Yeah, it's cold. It's freezing. Transatlantic crossing was going from point A to point B, transportation, even though there was entertainment and good food. A cruise is for entertainment purposes. Oh, thank you, Debbie. Thank you.
He was offered brandy to help him warm up. Well, a combination of drinking this brandy and the exertion and exhaustion of everything that he went through the previous hours, it caused him to pass out. And he passed out into a deep enough sleep where apparently the crew of the Carpathia thought that he had passed away. And when he finally did wake up, his watch and personal effects were all gone. But this is something that he wouldn't have noticed until a little bit later, because his first concern was that he was in a body bag. Yes, they thought that he had passed away. So they put him in a body bag and put him in a makeshift morgue.
Hell no. Hell to the no. You got to be more careful. Who is handling you? Okay? Put this man in a whole body bag. He was still alive. Woo, you got to be more careful. You got to be more careful. A lot careful. What if they had threw him in the water or something like that? Or, I don't know. They put him in a body bag. What if they had disposed of his body? I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? You wake up in a body bag. Imagine. Always imagine. Yeah, he had to tell him, get me the hell out of here. Hello. Hello. I'm alive. Open this bag up. It's hot as hell in here. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Slow your roll. That would have freaked me out.
That they had on the Carpathia. There was a group of people who were walking by and they heard the commotion of him trying to get out of this bag. He had passed away. So they put him in a body bag and put him in a makeshift morgue that they had on the Carpathia. There was a group of people who were walking by and they heard the commotion of him trying to get out of this bag, and they went in and helped him. And that is just so scary, because what I think about is, what if they had decided to bury them at sea?
That's what
What
I'm
if they had said,
talking
oh, he's
about.
gone, we don't want to have a body on the ship because that might lower spirits?
That's what I'm talking about. What if I had decided to throw him overboard? You know? He was in there in the little makeshift morgue that they created. Mm-hmm. 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 And he was in there making noise. Hello? I'm in here. What the hell is going on? What the Doolittle? You think, Debbie, the body bag may have saved his life? What do you mean? What do you mean it saved his life? Shoot. I know, Cece. You think? You think there were some people, ooh, I don't even want to think about it. That's how grave shifts have invented. People would sit by fresh graves. A bell was put in the deceased person's arm, and if it rang, they would get it out. No way. How you gonna accidentally bury someone? No, Doodoo Bird. There was a bell going on and everything. Wow.
So morale, let's put him to rest in the ocean. That is just a horrendous and scary thing to imagine. Colonel Archibald Gracie, and if you ever seen the movie Titanic, he's the character that offers Rose a drink after she almost falls off the ship. But Colonel Archibald Gracie, he died only 8 months after the Titanic sank in December of 1912, the same year. His family put the blame on surviving the Titanic and the physical ordeal that put him through, but they also blamed the mental ordeal that he went through.
Ooh.
Because Colonel Archibald Gracie was one of the first few survivors to write a very detailed account of what happened that night. And his family felt like everything he went through to survive the sinking, being in the water and swimming, and the stress and the strain, combined with constantly replaying everything over and over as he was interviewing other survivors, it just caused his body to just give up. And they blamed the Titanic for his death, even though it was 8 months later. There was one passenger, Nora Hilly, who ended up being admitted to a psych ward a couple of years later. She would end up dying there in 1919. And she was just one of the many Titanic survivors that had some sort of mental breakdown from surviving the Titanic. There were stories of women who were threatening to take their...
These people mentally couldn't cope after what they had been through, what they saw, what they witnessed. I think a lot of them passed away out there in the Atlantic. Even though they went home, they wasn't mentally there. Couldn't have been. It just... Hold on.
their own lives once they realized that their husbands or sons were amongst the dead. There were multiple reports, Ruth Becker being one of them, who remarked about how sad it was seeing all of the women lining the Carpathia's railings looking for their husbands and realizing that they were lost at sea. And some of these women did end up having to be brought inside of the ship because they were scared that the women might try to take their own lives or jump overboard.
Did y'all hear? So they're looking for their mate. They're looking for their husbands now. Like, where is my husband? Thanks, Debbie, for breaking that down. If his body temperature had fallen too low, then the body bag could have helped raise the core temperature. Think like a sleeping bag. Polo. Thank you. Yeah. PTSD. Bells in the cemetery attached to caskets were so in case someone had been buried alive. Hello? How are you going to just toss me in there in a body bag and put me in a grave and I'm still alive? No, I'm going to be pissed when I come out. I'm going to ring the, I wake up, I'm in the grave. Can you imagine? Like, you're in there now. It's hot and bugs. What the? No, I can't. I don't think I can imagine that one. This one is too hard for me to like be in. Yeah. Shoot. That would have freaked me all the way out. Like, I wouldn't have been able to cope. The cemetery keeper. I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm alive. Come get me the out of here. I'm alive. Woo! You talking about a whoa. Yeah. Yes. He brought her up earlier, I think. Or someone did, about Molly. Molly was in the ship, in the boat, trying to comfort the ladies that were in the boat where she was in, because the leader, the boat leader, he was very rude and crude. He told her to shut that hole in her face. What is that? Shut that hole in your face. That's what he told her on that boat. And I know the Titanic. I know it by heart. If you don't shut that hole in your face, he said, no. Not in no grave. No, sir. No. Yeah. Hi, Pickles.
Forward. Eleanor Widener, her family decided to hold off on telling her that both her husband and her son died in the sinking. She kept asking them for news of them, but they were hesitant to tell her. When they finally did, she refused to believe it. She just would not accept that her husband and son had frozen to death in the middle of the North Atlantic.
Mm-mm.
Frostbite was obviously a common injury. Richard Williams had frostbite so bad on his legs that it was brought up that they might have to amputate him. And so somebody suggested to him that he should keep walking so that he could keep, I guess, the blood circulating, or I don't know what that would do, but they just suggested that you need to keep moving if you want to keep your legs. So what Richard Williams ended up doing is that every 2 hours, all throughout the day and all throughout the night, he would get up and walk around on the Carpathia so that he could keep his legs active. And this did end up working. He was able to keep his legs. They were apparently very badly scarred from the frostbite, though. That never went away.
Ow.
Whenever he tried to join the military, they were going to deny him over it. Even with these scars, he did end up making a recovery. In fact, he played in the Paris Olympics of 1924, 100 years ago. There was one survivor, Joseph Hyman, who reported having hair falling out of his head in clumps. I guess the stress of everything he went through that night caused his hair to start falling out. And while we're on the subject of hair, I have to bring up one of the most, to me, it's one of these images that just really brings it home to you.
Yeah, I like this gentleman. He really understanding what these people went through, on a one-on-one basis is really something. Wow, Diane. There was one tornado in Kansas City, Missouri that hit near my town, but nothing like probably what you went through. It's good that you survive all that. Oh yeah, I like to scratch my hair and I pull it out. I love it. It's like, I don't know what it is, but and I'll have my husband scratch. It's like my thing. Yes, he is. He is Polo. I think he's at the end. We're at the end of the
impact that Titanic had on its survivors, and that's Alexander Littlejohn. He was a steward who was on board the ship, and there's a famous picture of him that shows him just a little bit before he boarded the Titanic, and then another picture that was taken only a few months later, and his hair had gone from jet black to completely white.
Look at that. That is insane. Same person, 2 months, a few months after the Titanic. This is what he looked like after being this is what Titanic did to him. Turned his hair pure white as snow. He ain't got no mustache no more. He ain't got no dark features. That is crazy. Put a 1 in the chat if you're tripping. I mean, seriously, look. He changed. He didn't age. He just turned to a different person. You wouldn't even think that these two people were the same people. Nope. That's what the hell Titanic did to him. Do you understand? That's what the hell Titanic did to him. Changed his hair white. Oh. The Titanic turned his hair white. Yeah, white as ice. White as ice. Look at that. that ain't something you see every day. You know, when presidents go in and then they come out, they look older than what they did when I've seen that. But this happened in a few weeks of Titanic. How? How is that possible? It's almost like make it make sense. Yeah, how odd. It'd be different if it was gray. It's white. They look completely different, says Stormy. Yeah, look at the stress. Look what stress did to his, turned his color pure icy white. Yes. That's what stress did to him. I've never seen anything like that before. Yeah, his mustache is gone too, Polo. Yeah, kind of, sort of. He does. Yes. I can see that, the sir. Hello. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Stormy. Thank you, Stormy. Thank you, sweetheart. Let's give it up for Stormy, guys, for giving me a super chat, a super sticker. Thank you so much. It means so much to me. I'm going to sing for you. Stormy, Stormy, thank you, Stormy, 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 thank you, Stormy. Oh, thank you, Stormy. I am truly grateful for my super chat. Can we put some Xanadu's and some hearts in the chat for Stormy? Titanic was staged to kill some of the richest. I don't think so, sir. I don't think it was staged. No. That was an act. That was right. Human errors. Thank you so much. It's your birthday? It's Stormy's birthday, guys. He didn't lose his hair. It turned colors. His hair turned white. Like, you know how they say his hair turned like he saw a ghost? He looked like he saw a ghost. Uh-huh. That don't even look like the same person. See, Diane said this is the first for her. Diane said this is the first for her. We're going to sing happy birthday. Okay, yes. I can't sing, but we're going to sing this song. Let me get something to drink real quick. Hold on. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Stormy. Oh, I know that was, I dug deep for that one. Okay. Yes. Yeah, he sure did. This poor man aged 2 decades in one evening. Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 That is unbelievable. I've never seen anything like that before in my life. That he turned from that to that in a few months. Just a couple.
One of these images that just really brings it home to you.
Yep.
The impact that Titanic had on its survivors. And that's Alexander Littlejohn. He was a steward who was on board the ship. And there's a famous picture of him that shows him just a little bit before he boarded the Titanic. And then another picture that was taken only a few months later. And his hair had gone from jet black to completely white, just from the stress of what he saw that night. And I've heard talk of this happening with other people in traumatic points in history, Marie Antoinette being the most famous of them. The stress of being captured and going through the French Revolution, and her husband being executed, and her children being taken away, her son being tortured, everything else. It just caused her hair to go white, even though she was only in her 30s. And Alexander Littlejohn apparently had the same thing happen to him, but it happened because of what he experienced just that one night on the sinking of the Titanic. And so there it is. That's just a few examples of some of the illnesses, ailments, injuries that passengers and crew who survived the Titanic either experienced or had to deal with as a result of the sinking. I know sometimes when you look at these pictures of these passengers and crew, it's these black and white, blurry pictures of people in fancy clothes. And sometimes it can make it a little bit difficult to feel a connection to them. But one of the things that I really ask that we all keep in mind is that these were people just like you and me. And even though they were the ones that survived the sinking, that still doesn't mean that they had an easy life. For a lot of them, the Titanic dramatically impacted them, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. And also, one of the more eerie things to keep in mind is that when you listen to their stories, their testimonies, their experience, what they saw that night, what they felt that night, it's going to be the closest thing that you will get to understanding what the 1,500 people left behind would have went through in their final agonizing moments. And all right, that's my video on the physical trauma caused by the sinking of the Titanic to its survivors. A lot of this information came from The Titanic Disaster, A Medical Dossier by George Behe. I cannot recommend this book enough. Okay. It's very, very interesting. A lot of the stuff I said in this video came from reports in this book, but that was just some of them. There were so many in here. You'll just have to buy the book to hear what they all are, but it's such an interesting read. And I got to admit, I've been having to force myself to read lately because TikTok has fried my brain. I don't really have the attention span anymore. But this book was a page turner. I went through it in a couple of days. I was irritated when I had to put it down. So that's my video on the physical trauma of the Titanic. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching my video. Thanks again for us hitting 1,000 subscribers. Y'all be safe and have a good one.
What time is that? I don't want to fry you guys' brain out with the Titanic. So we will resume this tomorrow. There was another video that I want to, I can get it started and then we can watch the rest tomorrow. But I did want to at least introduce it to you guys. Hold on one sec. Okay, he has some more videos, but there was this one video and it talks about what happened after. And CC, we will watch that, okay? Because the making of the Titanic, I heard, is really good as well because of this, just making it was drama. Putting that sucker together.
The first body found was that of a boy, believed to be Walter Van. When the Titanic slipped beneath the North Atlantic in the early hours of April 15th, 1912, nearly 1,500 souls were lost.
This will be part 3. Okay, this will be part 3. That's going to be good. It's an hour and 30 minutes. That's going to be great. But before we leave, I want to know what everybody ate tonight. What did you do for your birthday, Stormy? Did you do anything great? I liked it too. It's great. I think the part 3 is going to be good because it talks about what happens a little bit after as well. Marine's going to be upset she missed it, but I'm sure she'll catch the replay. I don't know what time tomorrow. It just depends because it just depends on a little bit schedule. She fell asleep. So when she fell asleep, this was my opportunity to come and hang out with you guys. So it just depends. If she takes a nap tomorrow, then it'll be around her nap time. If she doesn't, it'll be late at night. Thank you, Cece. Did you guys enjoy it? I did. Stuffed salmon, asparagus, loaded smashed potatoes. Ooh, what? That's interesting, Cece. You called it smashed potatoes, not mashed potatoes. Why? Have you guys ever heard of it being called smashed potatoes? Or is it me? Do I have it wrong? Or it's not a wrong or a right, but I've never heard of it called smashed potatoes. I've heard it called mashed potatoes, but not smashed potatoes. Help me out. Evening. It'll be evening because in the morning we'll probably talk about, I want to know what's going on with the war and stuff. So I probably do a live on that tomorrow morning. And then probably dig into Megan a little bit more because she is not popular and this is not good for her. This isn't good for her. This is not good for her. She's at a place where she shouldn't be at. People should love her and they don't. And that's a problem. That's a major issue. So I'm going to be talking about that. Queen Tulsa, hello. How are you, sweetheart? I know you're probably in the bed, but I'm just going to drop the link anyway, just in case you want to come up. Guys, say hello to my friend, Queen Tulsa, please. Polo, please put your link in the chat too, so that people will be able to come to your page and check it out, especially tomorrow since it's Friday Fireball. Yeah. Thank you, Polo. I appreciate you supporting me. It really means a lot. You're hanging out and enjoying it. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be late at night. But it's Friday, so she doesn't have to go to school. So I don't know. I think late would be good because you know what? I think Maureen thought I was going to do it later too. And I threw it off. Oh my God, I got to catch up. I made a pot roast with carrots and potatoes with a salad. Smashed. It's called smashed potatoes. Oh my God. Is it really? And I've been calling it mashed potatoes. Wait. Right. And do you make them mashed potatoes? Like you make them like a cloud? Do you put gravy on top of it? You smash them. You smash them. I'm still confused. Because I've mashed some potatoes. Like I'll boil the potatoes. First, I'll peel the potato, and then I'll cut the potato in little pieces, and then I'll boil the pieces, and then take them out after they finish boiling, and then I will smash them. Mash. I wonder, are we talking about the same thing? Okay, Queen Tulsa. I figured you were. Okay. Oh, and I put that anybody can come up that wants to say, if anyone have something to say. Stormy, you want to, tell us about your birthday dinner or what you did for your birthday. Let me see, what did you do? Kids wanted white rice with hamburger meat. That sounds good. It sounds simple and good. Like, so is it like hamburger patties with like brown gravy? Is that, rice is very popular in my chat. I have a lot of rice eaters, which I'm out of rice, I think, and I need to get some. That sounds really good. It's like That sounds good, Stormy. It just sounds like a kid-friendly meal. My daughter won't eat. She only eats certain things. And I've tried everything. Good. It's good to see you. Mm-hmm. It really is. Oh, Doodoo Bird. Yeah, I'm still confused. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And maybe we're saying the same thing. Maybe we're saying the same thing. Okay. That sounds wonderful. I'm free after like 3:30. Anytime after 3:30. Yep. My little one goes to has classes. Little activities. That would be awesome. I would love that, Queen Tosa. There you go. Polo, every time you come in here, this is what you need to do. You need to make sure you put up your link. This is the link to Polo's Fireball Friday. Go check him out. It's really cool. It's fun. There's music, laughter, and other stuff. Just check it out. And my girl, go check out my girl, the Queen Tulsa show. Okay? I'm going to have one of my mods put your link in there. Thank you. Well, guys, you know I can keep you. Okay. Let me look it up. Let me look it up real quick because I'm just gonna, yep. Smashed potatoes. Oh. Oh. Let me show you guys. Smashed potatoes. You got to see this. You got to see it. Because I think I know what she's talking about now. Okay, I got to share my screen again. Hold on, give me a sec. It's like a patty. It's like a patty. Is it like this? Like something like that? Like you just smash it one time? Because this is what came up. And it's a yellow potato, like you said. Wow, that looks good. It looks so good. Mm-hmm. I could eat that. Oh. Right, Duty Bird. Exactly. Exactly. And this is what you're talking about right here. I'm talking about mashed potatoes. I'll show you guys the difference. You guys know the difference. But had you guys heard of smashed potatoes before? Have you ever heard of that? Yeah, see, here it is right here. And I buy this kind. This is the kind I buy. Yep. Ohio. Oh, yeah. I don't make them from scratch. I don't do it scratch. I usually buy the box. It's easier and quicker. And the mashed potatoes. uh, uh, okay, yeah. But I know what she's talking about too. Now I know what Duty Bird is talking about. She's talking about a yellow potato, which is a lot sweeter than your yellow Idaho potato. And then you smash it. And then you eat it. Do they? They come out a little different. Because the mashed potatoes are mashy. Okay? They're just creamy. The cream. But the smash is going to have that crunch. Look like it had a crunch to it. Yeah, I kind of heard that piece. Yeah, they want my attention. And I said what I had to say about both of them. I put it in my basement post, because that's where they belong. And I left it there. Yeah, I have nothing. Yeah, they want my attention, especially Ralph. Okay, let me see. Hold on, guys. Let me go to I got to pull it up on here. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Yeah, no, I'm not responding to them anymore. Maggot and her new companion. They'll be fighting each other in a minute. Okay, peace. They'll be fighting with each other. Okay, here we go. Oh, thank you. This is Queen Tulsa's link. And then what is this? I'm trying to pull it up, Duty Bird. Hit that like button, guys. I'm going to let you go soon. Okay, what's that? That's Polo. Thank you, Polo. Yeah. Oh, God, that looks really good. That looked like a loaded baked potato. CC. That's a loaded smash baked potato. That looks great. Yummy. I can't click on here, otherwise I would. Hold on. Let me see. I can do it this way. God, I'm learning stuff. You got to know what you're doing up here. Okay, hold on. This is the loaded one. The one Cece sent me. This one has bacon. Now I'm hungry. It has bacon, onion, chives, and there's some cheese. And it's smashed. Look like they're just little round potatoes. I want to make me some. Judy Bird, you're going to have to send me the smash recipe. Or I'll just take it right here. Here it is. Okay, can I just save you? Yeah. Thank you. There we go. So it's in my favorites. There we go. Ooh, the rice with meat. You had that too, Polo? And then you went to McDonald's this afternoon and got a cheeseburger and fry. Oh, that sounds so good. That sounds so good, Stormy. Like, I want to make that. You get your hamburger meat, then you cook it. You mix in with ground. Oh, so the gravy is mixed with the meat now. So you got the brown gravy in the meat. Oh, God. Okay. Got it. And then you take it out and then you pour the rice on top. That sounds like a delicious meal right there, girlfriend. Yeah, I like rice too. My sister loves rice. Like she buy the big one. She likes rice too. Peace. Thank you for letting me know. Good night, Cece. Good night, guys. I'm going to let you guys go. I'm trying to get to the end of Least It Ain't Big Back Potato. Oh, Bad Built Potato. Yeah, Bad Built Potato. Yeah, I'm moving on. She's beneath me. They're beneath me. Peace. They are, and it took AT2 to tell me that she's not on my level and I need to stop engaging. And I think I made myself clear on the last I only need to explain myself once. And then if you didn't get it, you didn't get it. But I don't have to prove anything to anyone. So you need a storyline. You obviously he's trying to get back over here. So every time Maggot appears, there he is wanting to talk about me. Why am I a subject of topic? It's really stalkery behavior. It really is. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening. I will see you guys tomorrow. So when I make mini smash baked potatoes, I make them in a muffin tin. Oh, you bake them and then you take them out and you smash them. Wow. Well, it looks like it does pickles. You can put cheese on it, bacon, chives. It really looks good. I just showed you guys that picture. Let me know if you want me to show you again. Yeah, skin and all. It's the skin and all. It's like it looks delicious. You guys want the recipe? Hold on. Here, I'm going to put it in the link in the comments. There you go. There it is. Loaded smashed potato. Yeah, well, it's like a loaded baked potato. Yummy. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I do too, Dudu Bird. I love the conversation. I love the chat. And I know we're missing some people tonight, but I think I would love the smash. I'm really intrigued by the smashed because, like she said, they're sweet and then they got like that crunch, but I think I would like them loaded. No drama here. Yeah, and I got people over here to keep me in line. No. What email, Duty Bird? Hello, True Crime. We've been doing true crime lately. You got to come to our true crime night. Is tomorrow, is every Friday night. I'm going to tell a story and it's going to be great. It's true crime, but it's twists and turns. We're going to do that every Friday. It sounds like it's easy to make. Yeah. I just got to go get the ingredients. Yes. Okay, lovely people. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me and putting up with me and all that lovely stuff and the replay gang. Don't forget to hit that like button. And I appreciate your support. And I appreciate all of you that have made me reach 6,500 subscribers. We are moving up fast. And I'm really, truly grateful. I really am. I'm humbled by it all. And it's all because of you guys. So I say by the end of this year, we should have 7,000 subscribers. I think we will. We can do it. We got this. Now, so tomorrow, this is what I'm going to try to do so I won't tire myself out. Okay, Judy Bird, let me make sure. You emailed me last week. So what letter do your emails start with? Let me just do it this way. Yeah. Okay, yeah. God, sorry. Give me a sec. We're not going anywhere. Let me find it. Okay, I found it. Okay, I will take a look at it. I see it so far. Thank you. I appreciate that. I will take. Hello, Kim. You're always on time, Kim. I love seeing you come. Hello, Regina. Yes, Regina, you think we can do it? You think I could get to, you think, guys, you think I could get to 7,000 by the end of this year? I just need 500 just. I know, right? Is it 500? No, I need more than that. That's it, right? I just need 500 more subscribers, right? And that would get me at 7,000. Sorry, I had a brain fart. Because I'm at 6,500 and I need 500 more. And then we're there. We can do this. Oh, we can do this before Christmas, before the end of the year, right? Oh, no. I would never do that, Judy Bird. No, it's private. Yes. Hello, Lisa B. Okay, lovely. It's so good to see you. Yes, 500 more. We can do it. All we have to do is what Polo said. Share the stream. You know what I've been going around doing? I've been in a different algorithm and I've been reaching out to different content creators and saying, hey, I'm new. Check out my channel. I'm checking out yours. So check out mine. I haven't checked my messages though. I need to check my messages. Ooh, I'm bad at that. I am. But no, nothing's. God, I gotta keep up with this. Oh, yes, Kim, exactly. Yes, so 500 more. I would love to interview Sue Smith. I want to do that. I would love to talk to P. Dinah as well. And just to have an interview with them, you know? Anyway, I like the direction our channel is going into. We have a variety of things that we're starting to talk about, and I'm really enjoying the topics. And I like how you guys participate too. Like, I believe Cece sent me the documentary on the Titanic, the making of Titanic, not the making of the movie, but the making of the structure and what they went through. Yeah. So I do take you guys' stuff into consideration and listen to you. Exactly, Kim. So no one else ate anything? I know True Crime Night is going to be good. I'm really looking for a good one. I've been looking for a good one. I haven't caught one that's been like, oh, I like it. So I'm really digging deep for this one. I'm gonna let you guys go. I will chat with you guys later. Have a wonderful night, and thank you for the love and the support. I really do appreciate it. And we're gonna get to 7,000. That's gonna be awesome. It really is. Aliens. What about the aliens? The Alien movie? Yes, and hit the like button. Kick me in that algorithm. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I want to give a shout out to my girl, Danny Robinson, for her prank. Okay, Lisa B, that'll be great. Real aliens. Oh, okay. My husband likes that. Like the UFO and like all of that. That's interesting, Kim. Okay, I'll consider that. I'll consider that. And if you got like something in specific that you want us to look at, we will look at it. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's one for you. The disaster. Yes. No, we can do the aliens. Good night, everyone. Green fireballs. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? If you have like a short clip of something, we can take a look at it and see what they're talking about. Oh, doo-doo bird. And space. I think it's fan heart in space. Okay, good night. Good night, guys. I'm going to miss you.